Good morning, everybody. Welcome to WordCamp Kent in the freelance business track. My name is Laura Byrne Cristiano. I will be your MC for today. Our first speaker is Rahul D. Sarker. Rahul is a WordPress developer and digital marketing consultant based out of Kolkata, India. Apart from that, he conducts training and workshops in the Kolkata area and other metro cities in India on web development and digital marketing. This morning, he's going to be presenting on how to find the right customer for your service-based business. Take it away, Rahul.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction. Namaskar and good morning, everyone. Welcome to WordCamp Kent, Ohio 2020. While it's hard not to be together in person, but I'm extremely happy and blessed to be a part of such a wonderful WordPress community. A bit about myself. I started my career as a WordPress developer and gradually I started, migrating from WordPress, and currently I'm working as a digital marketing and business consultant. I work with a lot of service-based business and WordPress product company. So what's inside? Let's have a quick look on the things that we will be covering today. First, we will talk about who can be the right customer for our service-based industry. Now, there are few things that we need to ensure before finding the customer. Next, we will cover how to find the right customer. I will also share the strategies that I personally use for my own business. Last, before we conclude, I will share a few recommendations and best practices. Finally, we will end with a question and answer session. So, let's first understand who can be the right customer for our service-based business. So let's have a look who can be the right customer for our business. Someone who have a genuine requirement. Service-based industry is all about solving problem. So if the customer themselves is not clear about the problem or what they are looking for, then it will be a problem because they will never be able to communicate what they are actually looking for or what problem that they are facing. Next, we should be like they should be aware that how your service can help their business. Also, your value proposition should be very well conveyed to them. And let's move on. So now that you know who can be the right customer for your service-based business, you may have a question like, does they really exist? That's one thing. Yes, they do exist. All we need to know how to find them. Now you all are excited to know how to find the right customer. But before we proceed, there are certain things that we need to ensure. First, make sure that you and your team is fully prepared to provide the best in-class service to those clients. It's very important that we are fully prepared. It can be in terms of having the required infrastructure or maybe well-skilled people. You can never be the master of all trade. So it's important and a best practice that you pick a niche, work on making it perfect, and be the subject matter expert. Yes, as the company grows, you can always add other related services on your offering. A good example is many website development companies are also offering digital marketing and mobile app development services. Make sure that you and your team is very clear about the value addition that your service is providing. If it's not clear, then how can you or your team can convey it to the prospect? Lastly, have a proper workflow. I would suggest that you can use a project management tool so everyone is clear about their responsibilities and you as a business owner will know what's going on, who is working on what, and everything like every aspect of the project can be monitored just looking at a glance on that project management tool. So this is something that I would really, recommend. Also, it is a good idea that you give an access to your client on that project management tool, so they can also have a look, like, what you guys are working on. It helps in reducing the customer service work as well. Let's move on to the next part. Here we will talk about how and where to find the right customer. We will be discussing mainly about the online channels, covering both organic and paid channels. But I will also talk about few offline tips and tricks and channels that you can implement, and that really helps a lot as well. Search engine. Search traffic is really very important. Having a good ranking on the search engine like Google and Bing can easily bring a lot of traffic to your website. When people search something on the search engine, there is always an intent. It's a kind of pull marketing. A good example is, for example, you I need to buy a mobile phone. What I do, I might be, going to Google and search, buy iPhone 7 or iPhone 8, whatever phone that I'm looking for. And the moment I find the website, I will go ahead and do my research work and buy the phone. So that means I have an intent to buy the particular product. So that's how important is the search traffic. Next, social media. Again, everyone is on social media, so is your customer. So if you're not on social media and you don't have a good presence on the social media, that means you're missing out a big chunk of your customer base. Also, it is a good idea that you are well aware and you have a good strategy for your social media campaigns. On the other hand, what you can do is you can have your own remarketing campaign set up on social media. So if anyone visits your website, but and they leave without taking a valid action, then you can always follow them on social media. Niche blogging. Like I already mentioned in a couple of slides back, that it is very important to have a niche. So if you are expert in a particular domain, so it is a best idea that you have a very well written content, a well written blog post about the topic. It not only helps in bringing traffic from Google and other search engines, but it also shows that you know the niche, you know the topic very well. It helps you to build an authentic impression, or I would say a good impression to your customers, so that when they comes to your website, they know, okay, so this particular company knows what they are doing. It is also a part of educating the customer, so which is always a good idea. Forums. Now if you look at WordPress support channels, it is a forum itself. So when people face a problem, they go ahead and post about it on the forum, on the support channels. So what you can do is you can go ahead and provide a solution there. So that it helps in creating an authentic impression. It helps in letting the world know that you know your things. And above everything, it's a good karma. It's a good karma that you are helping other people. Let's have a look on some of the paid channels. Search and display ad. I already mentioned how important is the search result page, like the search engine rankings. So let's imagine that you don't have a ranking on the first page. Your website doesn't come on the first page, but there is an option. The what you can do is you can place an search engine ads like Google, in Google search network. So when someone search something about your topic or the niche that you're writing, your ad will show on the Google listing. So this is one way to grab those people from the search engine. Another part is the display ad. I will talk more in details about display ad in couple of incoming slides. Email marketing, probably one of the most important part of marketing in today's world is email marketing, because You can communicate with the person one to one. And most business, they have they check their email very regularly, and you can send personalized content to them. Paid social media ads, like I think I in the organic section I told you that we should be always available on social media, and I also mentioned about remarketing. So remarketing is again a part where you do a paid campaigns and follow those people on social media. Apart from that, a good example is, for example, you made a blog, and in order to have a better reach, what you can do is you can just post it on social media and maybe run a small campaign about it, so the blog have a good amount of reach. So at a glance, here are both the organic as well as the paid channels. Now, I would another important thing is webinar and live broadcast. Webinar is by far, I think, one of the biggest marketing campaign that one can do in current time. Now that we are all locked up in this COVID situation, a lot of companies are actually shifting and put a huge weightage on webinar as their marketing need. Let's have a look on some of the reason why webinar is very important and how it can help. First, it educates and trains your customer. It increases brand awareness, and it also shows that you have an authority in your niche. And also, it helps you, like the webinars that you do, you can always grab those video and repurpose it in other forms of social media or other places. Like you can put it on your website, and when it comes to social media, you can post it on Facebook, you can have it on Insta TV, you can post it on YouTube as well as on LinkedIn as a video. So the opportunity is endless. And also, I would always suggest that you repurpose your content. It's not like you make a blog and forget about it. Keep on working on it. And webinar also shows that it is a real engagement. You have people who are real, who are the people engaging with the content. So it is really very important. Hosting giveaways. Now, a lot of people might think that why should I go ahead and host a giveaway? So here are some of the reasons. Again, it helps in brand awareness. So if you are giving away something, let's assume that you're running a campaign where 5 people, after doing certain tasks, get a t-shirt with a company name on it. So definitely when they will be wearing the t-shirt, indirectly they will be promoting your company's logo, your company name. It is a kind of push marketing. So it is again a very helpful and effective way of doing advertisements. It also create a lot of buzz. I will show an example in the next slide. And sometime, yes, you might even receive a lead as well. So if you look at the example that we have over here, you will see this particular giveaway. There are certain tasks that the person needs to follow. First, follow that particular channel. Second, you have to react this on the post, and you have to comment on the post. So that means this because of this giveaway, the particular brand is getting new people that are following the page, so which is again a good thing, and they're also engaging. So the thing is, like, everyone who is commenting, everyone who is reacting on the post are not getting the prize. Maybe only 5 or 10% will get it. But since a lot of people are engaging, so there is a high chance that this content might even go viral. So once it goes viral, that means it is having a huge reach. So indirectly, you also get a free boost on your promotion. So let me share some of the strategies that I follow in my business to get a good customer. So first is brand awareness. So a couple of slides back, I informed that I will cover the Google display ad or banner ads later part. So what we do is we have a funnel that we create in order to generate a customer, in order to convert the customer into a paying convert that particular lead or a prospect into a paying customer. So our journey starts with brand awareness. we generate a lot of blog posts. We have a couple of niche website from where we put out contents, both in terms of video as well as info as well as text contents, and then we go ahead and do a paid marketing on them so that we have a better reach. Now, if we go ahead and use Google display ad, or maybe Facebook banner ads and other things, these are very inexpensive. You don't need to spend a lot of money. Like if I compare Google display ad and Google's search ad, the cost difference is huge. So using the display ad, we try to reach a lot of more audience in a very small budget. So once we start pushing the content, we move on to the next part. So with after, like as I mentioned, that we pushed display ad. So what happens after that? People click on it. So once they click on it, they comes to our website, and there we have a very helpful article about a particular topic, and they would read the article, they would watch the video, they will interact with that, and it's a way of educating the customer. Also, it shows that we know the content properly. And also, I would suggest that once you are writing the content, always keep in mind that you're not writing the content for a search engine, you're writing it for the people, the person who will be reading the content. So try to have a human touch on that. Also try to use proper call to action. So after we bring them on the website in the education phase, after that they start engaging with the particular content. As a result, what happened? They might go ahead and end up sharing the information, but that's not always the case. So in other case, what we do, we might end up offering them a free consultation in the form of CTA. Like I mentioned, CTA is very important, so you can have a proper CTA offering free consultation. You might give them ebooks. You might also invite them for a webinar. So let's go to the next step. Yes, so in the next step, what we are doing is we are trying to offer more value addition. Like I mentioned, we try to engage them, we try to attract them using webinars, we using videos and other things, maybe sometimes ebooks and all. So as a result, they would interact with that, they will go through the content that we are creating. So this will give them a good perception that we know the things very well. So ultimately, at the end of the day, everything that matter is the sales. So in order to sell, you need to pitch the customer. So this is the step where we start pitching the customer, and out of which we have a conversion, we have sales, and then we move on to the next phase, which is delivery and providing support. This is by far one of the most important part. You made a sale, the customer is converted, but if you don't deliver, if you don't keep up the commitment, then you will end up losing the customer, and that's not it. They would go ahead and spread bad reviews and other thing on the internet. So that is like a bad promotion, bad PR. So it is something that we need to be very aware. Like if you remember, I already mentioned at the very beginning that we need to prepare ourselves. So that means that even if we get a good customer and we are not doing a good job, so it is not a good combination, it's a very bad thing. Now once you converted the customer, you deliver the product or services that you are doing, customer is happy, you providing quality support, everything is awesome. Now this is the time when you build a relationship with the customer. Try to understand, try to be in their shoe and see how you can improve more, how you can offer more, so that their business can grow. So this is the step where you need to you need to build a relationship and upsell other related services. Now in the whole flow, I want to mention one more thing, that is after pitching, you might have customer where they will not be converted. So what happens to them? What you can do, you can again bring them up to the education phase in the step 2, so that you give them another flow, you put them another into another funnel. So you provide more information and try to pitch them again and see if that converts. I think at least try one or two. Now let's have a look on few recommendations. Okay, so now I will share some of the recommendation that I feel is important. But before I proceed, I also want to mention that apart from having a good presence online, practicing all the campaigns online, you should also have few offline activities as well. A good option is attending events that are in your niche, and visiting places, visiting areas where you can network with the kind of people who might convert into a customer. A good example is WordCamp. So in WordCamps, what we do, we not only listen all those amazing sessions, but also we do networking. So that is a place where you can actually get a good customer as well. Now it's not always that it have to be someone out of your industry. I can share a good example that me providing services like website development or digital marketing and everything like that. So who can be my customer? Maybe some business that are into retail, maybe some business that are planning to sell something, and all those categories of thing. But a good example is we can mutually help each other. Like one person is a web developer, but he don't have a proper marketing channel. So if you are a digital marketer, you both can collaborate. So as a result, what will happen, his business will grow and you also end up getting a customer. So you can do some kind of partnership, and it's something which is very important. I personally believe that collaboration is something that all business should do, because at the end of the day, business is all about people. We don't do business with a legal entity. We do business with a human being. So it is important that we build relationship, and collaboration will only happen when we have that relationship. Now let's come back and have a look on a couple of the recommendations. So research and create. Now I mentioned in couple of slides back that you need to have a very good content for your website, so that people find it helpful, find it interactive, find it useful. So how do you find that out? What kind of content to generate? So a good thing is to have a proper research behind it. So next time when you give your when your content writer asks that what content should I write, ask them, do a research, ask them to find out who is your customer and what they are looking for, and based on that you make the content. Remember, the content is the content that you're creating on your website is not for you or the search engine, it's for the end customer. So there should be a very well researched keyword so that you get a good ranking, and also make sure that it is as human as possible. Couple of things to refer or to look into is competition analysis. You need to see what your competitors are doing and try to do something which is better than them, or at least as per their standard. Like at least you both are having the same standard, try to do better. And understand what is your customer actually looking for, what your audience is looking for, what's their intent. Are they coming to your website just to get educated, or are they coming to your website to buy your product or services? So have that intent very clear, and always practice, always follow the best practice. There's certain things which are very basic technical things, like crawling. You're publishing a new article and you don't check whether whether it's getting indexed on search engine or not. Very basic thing, but we tend to forget. So this is a very important thing. Then mobile responsiveness. Like we build website looking at the desktop or a laptop, so we get the big screen. But nowadays, almost 50% or more traffic is coming from the mobile device. So why are we not putting importance on that? So there should always be a must guide, or I would say a must check, that to find out if your particular website or particular page is mobile responsive or not. Speed is again a very crucial factor. So make sure your website is optimized and have a good load time. Content is well organized and well structured, and if possible, I would say this is optional, but again, it have their own importance. That is AMP, accelerated mobile page, and PWE, which is progressive web app. So these are optional, but again, if you have it, it is good. So branding and intent, like why this is important. Like it not only helps you to stand out among the crowd, it carries a good vibe. It lets the world know that you are a brand. So that is something to give something worth putting out all the efforts. I mentioned that content should be reused and repurposed. So here are certain things that you can do. Like you can make a content into infographics, video, quiz, and ebooks. For example, you write and content on ACO. What you can do is you can make it into an infographics, which is very easy to share. You can make a video out of the content. The whole content will act as if like it's a script, or maybe using the content you can make a video out of it, so which is very helpful. And maybe after the 2 or 3 folds, what you can do, you can have a quiz stating like, hey, you have read so far, so let's see how much knowledge you have gathered. So have a quiz down there. So what happens is that people the visitor will interact with that particular thing, and you can put one or two things like, why don't maybe ask them for their name and email address, so that you can send them more information or something of that sort. You can design the campaign accordingly. Again, very important thing is to have a very clear call to action. You're offering, what you are doing, what service you are providing, all this should be crystal clear. Like if you are providing 3 revisions, make that very clear, make the stand out, because this will help you to avoid bad situations or unwanted circumstances in coming time. So your CTA needs to be clear, your offering needs to be very clear. Content distribution, now that you have created an amazing pool of content, so what's the next flow? The next step is to spread the content. Let the world know about your content. You can do it on social sharing. If you remember, I talked about email marketing. Now that you have a proper email marketing setup, you have a list of people, use email automation to blast those content, and you can have push notification. So this is again a very important thing. And nowadays the push notification not only work on your desktop computer, but it also work on your mobile app as a notification that you get on your phone. So push notification is a good option to distribute the contents. Brand presence. Okay, so this is something again comes to your branding part. So a proper brand identity is required. You need to be very active and responsive, and try to develop a community. Just have a look on our very own WordPress. We have a community, and to be very honest, like we all fall in love with the community, because it's not only that we are technical people, we are using WordPress. It's because like we are human being and we have a relation. So this relation actually helps us to be in touch with one another, and indirectly what we do, we talk about WordPress. So WordPress gets that added advantage, gets that marketing benefit. So having a community is a good option. For example, you are providing a web solution, have a community revolve around them, like maybe a Facebook group where you talk, where you provide contents, where other people can go ahead and submit their queries and other thing. If they face a problem, they can always post it there. Your team can go ahead and help you out. So building a community is very, very important. I must say one thing, like speaking in front, speaking in front of a live audience, it's much easier than speaking in front of this camera. This is something first time, like this is something I'm doing for the first time. Now let's talk about some best practice, or something that we need to keep in mind. That is one, master the hashtag game. Now everywhere you have hashtag things going on. You have it on Twitter, Facebook, and even on the search engines. So Always, have a practice of using proper hashtag. Make sure the hashtags are relevant, not like, you add a random hashtags. It doesn't work that way. So it is very important to have a, proper hashtag. And the target, when we are talking about social media, the target should always be something like this: engagement. So if you look at the slide, the example, what I have mentioned is share, comment, and like. What we do, if you post if you post a picture on Facebook, we say, oh, I got 20 likes, I got 50 likes, I got 100 likes, and we happy. And the thing is, people scroll and they just put a, click. So that's not a real engagement. Check how many people are commenting. And if you want to feel like, more important, although it's not relevant for a personal profile, but for your business profile, first check how many people are sharing. Because if they are sharing, that means they found your content worth sharing. It's important. So that's a good content. Then see how many people are commenting. So again, commenting takes time, although it's less than sharing, but commenting takes time. So that means content, sharing and comment should be your priorities, and then those like and other reactions, because that's something anyone can do it, and it just take a fraction of a second. So don't be happy getting hundreds of likes. Focus on share and comments. Be respectful. The whole world is watching you, since you are on internet. So make sure you are respectful, you are very inclusive, because it helps a lot in building those relationship with your audience. And always follow the best practice. There is no shortcut of in success. Lastly, before I conclude, I just want to say that no marketing strategy is perfect. It's all about trial and error. So keep on experimenting. I remember 1.5 years back, we had some issues. We were spending a lot of money on marketing. We are not making a lot of money. So leads were not of quality. So I was worried being a business owner. So what I did, I took a break. I took a break. I jotted down points like why I'm spending that much money, what makes me spend that, and why customers are not coming, or why I'm not able to target the right customers. So I started making a buyer's persona. I started finding out like who are the exact customers I will look for, what is their profile, and then what kind of marketing I should follow. Should I follow the outbound kind of marketing or inbound kind of marketing? And I tried both. And to be very honest, the inbound techniques or inbound marketing gave me a brilliant results. I'm still learning. I'm still practicing. I'm still doing the experiments. So I will encourage everyone that keep on experimenting. Never settle down. So that's the end of the session. Thank you so much for listening to my talk, my session. I hope that you find it useful. And if you have any question, please do let me know.
Thanks, Rahul. That was a great presentation. A couple folks had some questions that came up in the chat. We'll ask them now. If we run out of time, Rahul will be over in the Slack channel afterwards to answer anything that may have been missed. If you're not sure how to get to that, just hit the website, which is 2020.kent.wordcamp.org, and you can find out how to engage with Rahul in case we run out of time, because we only have up until 10:30. But the first question comes from Adrika, and she wants to know, what do you prefer most, organic or paid search?
According to me, I think you should design a campaign which involves both search, paid as well as organic, because organic, gives you a free boost. It brings people, on your website without any, without investing any money on the advertisement. But on the other hand, you can use paid media to reach more people. So I think the campaign should revolves, or campaign should be made using both.
Great advice. Another question comes in from Jennifer, and she wants to know, what are your feelings on social media marketing?
Now that everyone is in social media, like missing out social media, I think it's a blunder. So all your marketing efforts should have a social media part. And it's very simple, like you are making contents for your website, or maybe for offline as well as online mediums. You can just push it using social media. and get more reach. So I think social media is something that you should not be missing out. You should put equal effort on social media.
Um, Along the same lines on social media, Brittany had a question and she wanted to know if you had any tips on exactly where you should start out. If you're talking about paid social media, like what's a good starting point for that?
uh First, you need to know where is your customer. Like if you're targeting professional people, then LinkedIn is a good place. Now if you're targeting like maybe consumer product, then or consumer related service, then you can try Facebook. And Twitter again, it's something that lies in between both. So Twitter is again a good option, but my preference, if you're targeting professionals, business owners, who need a professional services, you can use a LinkedIn. And in other case, Facebook is always a good idea, but Twitter should not be missed out. So these are the three platforms I would recommend when it comes
Great.
to pay.
Olga has a several part question here for you. Olga asks, how to start small, find a niche, and of get into the space without elbowing in. Do you have any kind of best practice there on what you should do?
First, in order to get start, you actually need to start. You should not be worrying, like you should not be thinking, okay, let me first get prepared, and after 3 months of preparation I will get started. Don't do that. Start right now, because once you start you will actually know like the flow actually. Like I started my career as a developer, and then with my business I started moving towards digital marketing. Now I specifically works with a lead generation. So lead generation is my particular niche, and it took over 5 years for me to figure out like what is my particular niche. So once you start, once you make content, once you are producing things, and over the time on the flow you will get your niche. And before choosing a niche, you should always make sure that that is the work that you love to do, that is the work you can do non-stop. And one of the best way to find out, like choose a field where you will work, not to worry about money. Like you won't get tired, something that you love to do. So for me, I love development, I love coding, I still check out things right now. But for me, marketing is something that I cherish. I think marketing is a blessing for me, and I never get tired, or I never think that I'm overworked or something like that. So these are the few things that you need to keep in mind. And regarding the elbow part, I would say, like competition is everywhere. But if if you get started, if you pick if you are working on your particular niche, in no times you will stand out. So it's not that because of this competition we won't get any clients or we won't get any project. Like since, let me be very specific, like in website development, we always think like there are hundreds of companies that are doing. So if I start my business, will I get it? But not to forget the fact that there are thousands of people who are actually going online. So which is like 10 times. So if 100 people are starting an agency, 1,000 people are going online. So you will never run out of customers. And if you get a customer, hold them, cherish them, pamper them as if like they are your baby, and make sure that your agenda or your work should grow their business. Be a business partner for them. If you practice all those things, I don't think so that you will be elbowed to any corner.
It's a great answer. Awesome advice for so many industries. I have time for maybe two more questions here for you.
Sure.
Um, Here's another one. Does it really, try that one more time in English? Does working on getting more backlinks, is that really worth the effort and the time it takes to do that?
It's a very controversial question, to be very honest. You will find industry gurus who would focus on, get more backlinks, get thousands of them. I think in the last slide also Steve mentioned that, backlink thing, and he also warned people not to buy backlinks. So I would stay with that. Never ever buy backlinks. But the fact is, in today's world, backlink do matter, but not that much how it used to be like 5 years back. So if you are doing good content, if you are working hard, if you your content is excellent, then definitely people will give you the shout out, and that shout out is your backlink. People will refer you, so that is your backlink. So use that. I think not be like, I need to get 100 backlinks. Don't worry about backlinks. Just keep on creating good content which people will find helpful, and they would easily be referring that, okay, I learned this from that particular website, or they might even feature you. So just work on the thing that you are good at. So that would help you to get more backlinks, and don't worry about backlinks, and never ever pay for like backlinks.
Great. I think we have time for just one last question here. How would you improve conversion of leads?
Okay, so it depends like what kind of lead it is. But again, since my topic is related to service industry, let's assume that leads are for web development and digital marketing first and foremost. Be very clear with your offering. Like in the first interaction, tell the prospect that these are the things that you will offer, and also not to forget the value addition that you are going to bring. And another good idea is, if the customer is local, try to meet the customer in person. And if the customer is like not local, so at least do a video call. Don't just be over email and email or voice call. Because at the end of the day, when you see a person, or when you at least see the person virtually, like speaking with you, that brings some kind of human connection, so that helps. And listen more, because while talking with the customer or the prospect, they will themselves tell you what problem they are facing and what solution they are expecting. So you can check whether your service and offering actually are in line with what they are looking for. If that is, then I think you don't have to work very hard to get the conversion on board. And always try to have a human face for your company. Don't be like we are just a website or something like that. Sometimes being friendly helps a lot.
Great. Thank you so much, Rahul. That was great advice. As I said, if you have any other questions or something just occurred to you, if you want to follow up with Rahul, you can go find him over in the Slack channel. Just hit the website, which is 2020.kent.wordcamp.org. Also want to point out to everybody, we have sponsors that this event could not possibly be happening without our sponsors who have made the effort to be here with us online today. They each have individual sponsor rooms. It's your opportunity to engage with them one-on-one. A lot of times we don't get that opportunity. You can actually talk with our generous sponsors, and their rooms can all be found also on the website. So do check that out, visit them, find out about their products, and ask them questions that you may want to know about. And that at the end of the day, don't miss out on the great after party that's happening. There is an online after party, folks. That's right, the WP Game Show. Check out the information on that on the website also. So thanks everybody for joining us here for the first session. We're going to take a brief break, and then we'll be back with more great content. So thanks everybody for participating.